how do you save money and not get distracted by a lot of the kind of stuff out there? So I'm wondering, you're watching this video, are you like in your 20s or maybe 30s and kind of saving up some money so that you'll have more when you get older? I'm kind of wondering. I want to share a little bit of a story with you. When I was in my 20s, I moved from the East Coast out here to Seattle to kind of start my life, my dream of becoming a professional photographer. And, I had very little money coming in, and it was really unpredictable, but like $200 or $300 a month at the start, and gradually I was able to kind of up it and earn a few $100s more, and it took a while, but the only way I was able to pay my rent, which came to $520 a month, and pay for food, and I never ran up a credit card debt. The only way I was able to do this was I kept my expenses really low. So I'm wondering, you guys who are watching this, I know I have viewers here who are in their teens and 20s, and then some of you are probably up in your 50s and 60s and 70s and older. So this question here, I guess for young people, is just how do you save money and not get distracted by a lot of the kind of stuff out there? I actually had a question on one of my earlier videos about how does somebody avoid all the distractions? Like, how do you do this? And I love that question because I think now more than ever, it's really hard to focus on anything in this world because we have our phones. They're always right there. There's always stuff to look at. There's always stuff to do. And there's always stuff to buy. And this is what I think makes a huge challenge for anyone who's just trying to save. And so I'll tell you a little bit about my situation. I lived in this really cool apartment building. It was like a U-shape. They actually famed a famous movie. They filmed a famous movie there in Seattle just before I moved there. And people used to come from all over the world. They'd come from Sweden and Japan and different parts of the US just to go to this building because a lot of the famous actors and actresses of that time were in this movie, and they wanted to sit on the stairs where these famous people had sat or hang out by the fountain out front. But the thing was, we were all kind of friends with each other. We used to hang out, we'd eat together, we'd go out, do stuff together. And I know that a lot of my friends lived more extravagant lives than I did. So I had this old car, and I just used it for years and years and years. And all I had to do was get oil changes and make sure the brakes were fixed and stuff like that. But they were driving nicer and nicer cars, and they'd often go out and drink, just go out for beers or go out for cocktail, whatever. And that costs a lot of money. And I lived a great life. I played a lot of sports. I loved playing basketball, and I played a lot of tennis. But I got fun from mostly photography and doing sports and spending time with friends. But we weren't spending a lot of money. And instead what I did was every month at the start, I saved $100 a month. And I just put it into the stock market, into a mutual fund. And I did that for a few months. And then I found out, hey, I can do $200 a month. That's not that hard. And, I do know that I did not spend much money on food, except for going out for Thai food with friends, which I did, pretty much every week. But it's not super expensive, or going out for pizza. But in general, not spending a lot. And I just want to talk to you guys because I know if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're trying to put together a nice amount of savings, money to invest, I think you will be thankful for anything you can do now, not to buy a lot of stuff you don't need. Because later you're going to realize that is just a waste of your time and your money if you buy things or spend money on stuff that doesn't really make you happy and doesn't really serve you. I think getting an expensive car just because you really want that fancy new car is going to be a big burden on you, and it's going to keep you from getting to some of your far off goals in the future. Again, I don't want you to take this as financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor or a professional like that. But I just feel like as friends, I can just share with you guys some things that I have learned that have worked for me. Now, I have a friend, and I kind of was like a mentor when she was in school and learning stuff and all that, and we've maintained our friendship even though she's getting older now, and she just started investing. And one of the things she mentioned to me is she wanted to invest more, but she first has to pay off her credit card and finish paying for her car. So let me just backtrack a little. I know that she's done some traveling and stuff like that, which I think is a great thing to do when you're young. But I think that the problem is that she bought a car where her payments are pretty high. Her payments are, this is a Toyota RAV4. It's a much nicer car than what I drive now. But my car is paid for. So I pay $0 every month in finance charges or in fees to own my car. All I have to do is, every several months I change the oil. That's about it. But her car payment is probably something like $400 or $500 a month. So for someone in their 20s to be buying or paying off this Toyota that they're not going to have 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, probably. I mean, who knows? But the thing is, if you were to be investing those $400 or $500 every month, now you're building something that you're going to have when you get older. So this could either be peace of mind, knowing you don't have to do a job you don't really like, financial independence, or it could be working, and then retiring way before, you ever really need to. You could just say, what I mean is you would be able to have the decision-making ability, the freedom to do stuff you want to do. But if you're just consuming now, if you're spending most of your time and energy on making money and spending money, making money, spending, you'll never get to the next level in life where you're free of that cycle of always having to be working. So I want to encourage you guys to find ways to consume less than you earn. It's that simple. Find a way that you can earn this much and you just burn this much, and you get to keep the difference. And that is, I think, the path to getting into a really good place in life. And you know what? It's not that tough to go through your 20s and 30s living a life where you're not wasting money. You can kind of take it as a way to have creative challenges, to do things with friends where, maybe you're going out and you're buying groceries and cooking some meals together and having a hell of a lot of fun. And it's much cheaper than the 4 or 5 of you going out and running up a $200 tab at a restaurant. So lots and lots of ways to live a good life and save that $200, $300, $400, $500 for yourself every month. It's doable. I could do it. I know you can. It wasn't a magic recipe. It was just a matter of making that decision that you want to create more in this world than you consume. So thanks so much for watching. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, I talk about lots of stuff having to do with life, photography, investing in stocks, and also ETFs. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.